Hey guys, welcome to Phoenix Wright. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Yeah, we stopped right in the middle of Turnabout Beginnings. So, quote unquote, a Melissa Foster just fainted. After Mia pushed too hard. Miles is still being a brat. Montford's in the gallery, just as a friendly reminder. And we're trying to get a convicted felon cleared of a charge.
And once again, I have to ask, does he look like a bitch?
Then why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch? There's also going to be something controversial that comes up, and we're gonna put a big old pin in that because it has to deal with Dahlia herself as a villain. And it's a very weird and controversial topic, and it's a really ballsy thing that the Ace Attorney crew did. Because it's not just the localization that did it. This was also in the original Japanese version as well. Because the anime did the exact same thing. So...
I still don't know where that information came. If it's... Because I don't recall ever seeing it in-game, but yes.
It is, I think, in-game. I think they don't go into specific detail about it.
Okay.
But it is talked about in-game, because Mia has dialogue about it. So, let's get to going. Oh, and Diego and Mia are flirting up a fucking storm. Or rather...
Okay, try to remember.
Mia's being professional. Oh yeah, trying to remember Terry's voice.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Falls, I completely missed that because it went way too quick.
What? You just do the screen anyway.
I'm sorry!
Oh my god, I keep forgetting we have high def sprites now. Welcome to the future! Yeah, this is Terry in high def. How old is he?
25.
Wow, you remembered that very easily.
I want to say thanks. You're really good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I've proven that she's committed the crime...
Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past.
Obstacle?
Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway?
Motive, huh?
Anyway, we're still badly in need of information.
Information. Right.
What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing.
What is it?
Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for.
I didn't do nothing! I didn't kill nobody! I never lie! Mr. Falls, in that case,
You got cut off, I'm sorry.
tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dreamt of it every day. This picture, it reminds me of everything. Bridge looks same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart. Fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years.
Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute.
True. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Your girlfriend? Huh?
Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne?
The victim's last name. And Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious?
The girl, let her go.
Shut up! Come closer, and I'll kill her!
Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance.
Detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was protecting her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong! No, protect sister! Valerie betrayed me! Betray us! What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping, too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says? Oh, hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We got one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer cause she knew detective.
Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, all right. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh?
Yeah, but that woman. That woman, Valerie, she do for real. She shot at me for real. Me and Dahlia. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jump in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over.
And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence.
I couldn't believe it! That woman! She betrayed me!
That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below.
These 5 years, all I wonder is why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know.
So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself.
Yes, but I forgot what she looks like, so I asked her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just wanted to hear an answer come from her mouth. That's all.
So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that?
Just one thing, zebra boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it?
Huh? Where's what?
Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? The police take it?
I don't know.
Huh? You don't know?
Really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia.
With Dahlia?
That day, on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River.
It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute.
You can come back in now. We're about ready to go.
Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you say with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne.
Never found her. My sweet Dahlia.
They never found her?
Swallowed by river. Gone. Dahlia. My teen angel.
Your teen angel? How old was she anyway?
Just 14.
14? I guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds.
She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth $2 million. Man, oh man. Angels these days.
Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a...
It's time, kitten. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now.
You bet.
Diamond, a $2 million gem used as ransom for Dahlia, lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Terry's name, yeah. The training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it. Okay, hang on. Let me try to remember his voice here. Well, no, because it was like Aji's, because Aji's is up here, but his is a bit lower. But it's still got that rah, 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 that makes Aji. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best.
You're a brave young lady.
Not this again.
I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is...
What are you talking about?
My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer.
Her motive, huh? I figured that that's what I had to establish next.
Well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of a motive?
Yes, of course. I think.
You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Kitten. I know you're not.
Mr. Armando, I'm doing fine. Mr. Armando.
Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles, no matter how bad it gets.
Huh?
Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro.
Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that in court.
Excuse me? May I speak, Mr. Judge?
Of course. Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like.
I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why... I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true.
I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. It looks like this witness is a real professional.
What do you mean?
Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up. Very well then. Let's hear what the witness has to say.
I was out of the country until a year before last. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason to want to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? Or kidnapping a poor girl? I think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster.
Hey, Goose.
Out of the country, eh? Hello, Goose. You're here for the sads. And the bitches. Ooh, the bitches. I'm out of the country. He's Canadian. He's Canadian. Bitches and sads. Yeah, pretty much. If Twitch wouldn't yell at me the name of my indie folk band, I would listen to the fuck out of that. I cover up my fear with my extreme hostility. In reality, I'm terrified of that dainty little girl on the witness stand. I have been for 15 years. Fuck. Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile.
You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. So, what country were you living in then?
We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed...
It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone.
I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification.
What kind of sob story is this?
Bloober Team's last game. I'm dead serious. Except the ending isn't, you know, if you have mental illness, you should kill yourself. Nice message, Bloober Team.
What do I do? Should I press her for details?
Yes! Poke the bear!
Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in?
Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case.
I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne.
Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. No, Bratworth is my favorite flavor of Edgeworth. I love him. Little asshole. He's just 20. Oh yeah, my mind got blown last time, chat, that this takes place 6 months after Callisto. For a timetable. I like Allworths. You say Dadworth and I think Gregory. Yeah, 6 months after Callisto. Also, Montford's in the gallery, so... Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony?
Yes, please, Mr. Judge. Naturally, I don't know either the victim or the defendant.
You didn't know either person. Are you certain of that?
Yes. I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people.
Oh, well, that can't be helped.
Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth?
The first time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct?
Yes. It was really a coincidence.
So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway?
I just love being outdoors. Picnics, hiking, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you look like a real fucking hiker. Melissa.
I am. That's where I like to hide the bodies.
Yeah, it is where you like to hide the bodies. Dahlia? Thank you, Mia!
You don't look much like a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
She ain't messing with no.
Ah.
I was going for the clean, you know, radio version. Or who do you think I am?
Did you know that all plants are carnivorous? Happy face. Actually, yes, I did. I learned that fact randomly somewhere, but I'd forgotten about it until you brought it up. And it clicked, like, oh yeah, you do know this, and it's terrifying.
But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here, and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to.
Well, I went there once with the college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess.
Didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college?
The prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life.
Huh?
All that matters is that she is a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly malicious in intent.
Thank you. She's really gone too far.
Ugh. That was Miles, not me, making the Because again, boy wants the win. Boy ain't stupid. Boy knows she's suspicious as fuck. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here.
Hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only did you contradict yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car.
Well, that's...
Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing.
Oh, really? And why is that?
The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that, at the time, an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. Huh. It's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book.
That's not fair.
He's good.
that wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day.
A grudge?
Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death.
Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt.
My client has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges.
He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean.
Huh?
Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot about the poor policewoman as well.
Gaslighting 101.
What do you mean by that?
Your client. He forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well.
Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that?
Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some identification, right?
Quite right, but that's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification.
Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
That's true. He's clearly a bitter man.
This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Have it at it! Your Honor, what the witness just said now was tremendously important. I'd like to have it added to the official testimony.
The prosecution has no objections. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps further prove that point.
No, that's not why I...
Enough, witness, if you would.
My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
What do you mean by lucky?
Well, it's February now. Everyone is wearing scarves. I had accidentally worn a white scarf like he said.
Then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a terrible loss for this world. Huh. It looks like you pressed too hard this time, kitten.
Mr. Armando?
Keep looking around you, and you're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk.
You knew about that incident? But weren't you out of the country until the year before last?
Well, I saw a report about the escaped convict on the news. They had an in-depth whole history.
The judge's face looks like an emoji. So you were still living abroad 5 years ago, is that right?
Yes.
I can't let her get away with these lies.
Listen to me. She's neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow, you're just going to have to get her to show the court her true self. Okay.
How does she know about that white scarf?
Yeah, I'm like, there's two things to tackle here, because I think we come back to this. This statement here, the victim or the defendant. Because we have to prove who she really is first. I mean, technically they talked about the white scarf in front of her too, which is like the crappy part. Or no, it was just a scarf as identification. It wasn't, they just mentioned a scarf. They haven't mentioned a white scarf.
No, they haven't.
So it's Valerie's note. Wear white scarf for identification.
No.
Is it the scarf itself? Because that's not white.
Yes.
But it's not white.
Yeah, that's the point. How would she know?
Oh, ha 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 ha. I don't remember that one. Thank you.
And if she saw it, then she would, know it wasn't.
Yup. Ah, we have a new profile. Dahlia Hawthorne, deceased. Valerie's younger sister, victim of the kidnap and murder. Fell from the bridge, no body found. I actually really like this silhouette for, like, mysterious woman. I really like that, and I'm sad. I think it's only in this game.
Yeah.
I really like that. Back to present. Present a scarf.
Witness, I want you to take a look at this photo that you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf at the victim wore as identification.
Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh?
Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing.
I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I was lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
White?
This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me.
Oh,
Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white.
Sorry, but not this time.
Every time I see Mia, I now get sad about the Magatama. Thanks, Katie. The Magatama around
You're
her
welcome.
neck. Thanks.
You're more than welcome.
Because now it's canon. It is actually canon. You just discovered that the canon. That's the one that Nick carries around. Cool. I'm super fucking sad.
The witness just confirmed that this is the scarf the victim, or this is the victim's scarf.
Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but...
There's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is...
Now we present the victim's note.
There you go.
I jumped to point C! I did it again!
Witness, have you ever seen this note?
No, no, never.
It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have.
I wonder about that.
What do you mean?
This note showed Mr. Falls introducing, This note shows Mr. Falls' instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification.
White scarf? Ah!
Witness, you knew what this note said. It is because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster.
No!
Order, order, order. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public.
And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is the other. And finally, one more person.
Did you say one more person? That's right. A person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten?
Yep. The third person who knew about the contents of this note was...
Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Because it even says so. Call Dahlia.
And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before.
Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. Tell her this time. There is her name right there.
What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne? Ms. Fay must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls.
You said she was killed, but was she really?
What are you implying?
Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago. When she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost to the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found.
She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead.
But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are.
Even you couldn't. Miss Fay, you're not saying.
But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
What? Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you are nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist.
I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm.
Witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness.
Yes, I understand.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses.
What did he say?
Nick's reading this fucking case like, Miles, what the fuck did you say? Full background checks, but you didn't know it was Wendy Oldbag the second time around and you called her the Wicked Witch of the witness stand? What? Full background checks my ass. Huh. It looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go.
No way. But then why?
If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see...
Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years?
That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime.
Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspicious at a scene of another murder?
Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How despicable.
How dare you?
Please, let's just take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Ms. Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her.
What?
I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister?
Well, you see... I thought I was winning, but somehow he turned it around on me.
I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim.
That wasn't me. That was this guy, the crazy coffee addict.
Objection!
Mr. Armando?
I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets.
I am sweating bullets.
You think you're in a tough spot, huh?
Of course, aren't I?
No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth. That's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you.
Up to me?
The rashness of youth. How charming.
This coming from someone younger than me.
Now then, let's not waste any more time. Ms. Faye. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? How about that $2 million diamond?
How about that victim's note?
Oh, yeah. Shit. Talk to
Tell
Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Yeah, you're right. I'm jumping ahead again.
This story starts after Terry Falls' escape. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, "Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out." Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth.
The whole truth.
There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt like she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently.
A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was this secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne. And Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all.
Oh, yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony
What testimony?
regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago. We believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters.
Very well. I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it will be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf?
Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge.
Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge. After we made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
But you were still registered at IBU as Dahlia Hawthorne. You dumb bitch. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. Well, actually, would she have had to change it after it was brought out legally?
No.
No? Okay. So yeah, her dumbass was just like, oh yeah, I'll just register under Dahlia Hawthorne. Okay.
Or she never really changed her name. She just gave an alias to the police.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And she was just kept hidden.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. God, I hate her. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fay.
Yes, Your Honor.
As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination.
Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again.
If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info. That ace up our sleeve.
What info?
Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged.
That's right. It was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us in the lobby.
I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says.
What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too.
Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret.
Okay, we can still press Willie. Oh, fuck off. Sorry. The mouse scroll button is also between statements, apparently. But we can press willy-nilly on this, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's try... Sorry, I did that purely by instinct as I was thinking. Okay, there we go.
Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship?
Yes, as a tutor.
You were tutoring him? Mr. Falls?
No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house and tutored me.
That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14.
He probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. Quite the clever fellow, that Mr. Falls.
Did I just hear him right? Did he just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? I heard the diamond was valued in the neighborhood of $2 million.
$2 million?
It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk.
A $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think about that. The defendant demanded that her sister, Valerie, make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up on that mountain? If he had gotten surrounded, it would have been hard to escape.
There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountains, he was ensuring his safety.
What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Falls is.
Yeah, right. It was all your plan.
Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and...
That's a dangerous thing, considered you were being held hostage.
Yes, but actually, that saved my life.
Ooh, what do you mean?
You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow, I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me.
Huh?
That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me.
I'd like to hear more about what happened right after that moment.
Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned and grabbed me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin.
Bloodthirsty grin. Oh.
In the next instance,
I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift.
I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. And then just one little shove from behind. That was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river.
And that's why you hid your identity?
Yes. I only told my sister.
Battery Hawthorne, eh?
Yes, she's the only one who knew about me.
Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years.
I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again.
Well, no, she's been legally dead for 5 years, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Yeah.
So she had to sign up as Melissa Foster.
Huh.
She
That's weird.
probably told her name after this case
Yeah, true.
because it came out in court. So, I mean, she probably did just like after this case, she was like, well, fuck it. Dahlia's the kind of character where if she doesn't have to hide anymore, she won't hide.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I think once it came out in the open, she was like, nah, fuck it.
And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right?
Yes, my sister helped me get official paperwork taken care of.
That makes sense. Without an insider help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible.
She was the only person left in the world that I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could.
It's the moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is.
We just gotta prove the kidnapping was a hoax.
Okay, my brain has been like distracted this whole fucking time because I was trying to look something up, simultaneously. So, okay. 5 years ago, she was kidnapped. Ransom price was a raw diamond. Sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. But the exchange was never made. The diamond is still missing.
Kind of,
That's
yeah,
when
this
Mr. Falls
statement's...
tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind.
There's something fishy about this statement. If
he pushed her forward, she just would have landed flat on her fucking face on the bridge.
And if he pushed her back, where would she have fallen?
Right, on the rocks.
Yeah, but she fell into the river.
Yeah, which means in the sides of the river, or the sides of the bridge that we can see in this map, everything is too high for her to have been, like, for her to, like, slip off the side. She had to have actually climbed it. So is it the map or is it the photo?
It would be the map, because that shows that the bridge was broken.
Okay, I mean, it could be either one of those, though, in my eyes, because it could be, again, showing the sides. It could be one of those either-or evidence situations.
No.
Okay. I trust your memory. Your, like, what, 8-month-old memory is way better than my 3-year-old memory.
Not even 8 months.
Yeah.
You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe.
But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls.
I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I should have said, that's hard to... I shouldn't have said, that's hard to believe. I should have said, that's impossible.
Impossible?
I asked the court to recall the conditions of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed into the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible.
Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then.
But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small chance that the water level would have made much of a difference.
Yeah, that's true. You hit the water at that height, it's hitting concrete. Ugh! You're right. If the events occurred just as the witness testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this?
You see,
Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge.
What do you mean?
After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. Sorry, Bratworth, we've already got you. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct?
now that you mention it, I do remember now, when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got cut on one of the bridges of side wires.
You can't be serious.
The order! Order in the court! It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion.
Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault.
What?
I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwillingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible.
Ridiculous! What's so impossible about it?
Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record.
I was at step C again, wasn't I?
Yes.
You sound so annoying.
No, I'm trying to like keep you on the right path, and you're just like, what?
No.
I'm like, no, right path.
Nope. Nope. This is how my brain plays Ace Attorney. I'm 5 steps ahead, and I get so frustrated because I'm like, but this is the answer, and it's like, nope, dog, you gotta fucking prove how you got there. I'm like, damn it.
Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from here.
No!
But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over.
So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm.
Ah.
And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range.
Ugh.
So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That's clearly impossible.
Ah!
Who's the bimbo now?
Order. What's the meaning of this?
Dahlia Hawthorne. You jumped intentionally.
Sorry, my whole fucking thing fluctuated there. You're just gonna have to redo the line read.
You jumped into the Eagle River intentionally.
What? What is this? Why do they have the tiger roar sound there? I never understood that.
I don't know.
Indeed. What do you mean by such a ridiculous remark?
Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that, it would have been suicide.
Perhaps. But still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could have handled the swift currents. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason to jump into the river.
Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river?
The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River.
A diamond.
Yeah.
$2 million all to herself. Fuck those two.
5 years ago. Something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. This item that Valerie brought up to the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond.
Ah! No, it can't be.
Yes, Dahlia had that all planned from the beginning. The $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. she forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack.
Why, that's simply ridiculous! Fucking Monfred's in the fucking gallery like, Miles Edgeworth, you better not fuck this up! Fucking...
Pretty much. Also, hi, Satan.
Yeah. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? Put a pin in that. I'm dead serious.
This woman is a demon.
Thank you, Mia.
And there's one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne.
You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? I didn't know Von Karma was the lead in Screamo Band. He's not, that's the worst part.
Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed on her heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder.
What do you mean by that?
On the day of the murder, after receiving a phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister, Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do.
Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note.
That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne.
Who is that laughing at a time like this?
Forgive me. It's all just hilarious.
Witness? Is that you?
You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally.
You have the evidence to back it up, don't you?
Evidence?
Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. At 14, I plotted with Mr. Falls and my sister.
Well,
And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence, at least show that.
Well, Miss Fey?
I don't know.
What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something?
How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't have a decisive proof that Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense.
Of course you are. Is that it? Is it really over? That girl's made such a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it?
Huh. Without evidence, the trial is over? Who decided that?
Mr. Armando.
Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony.
Testimony.
On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right?
Yes, that's right.
In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who's the one person that can testify that that demon to that demon woman's crimes?
Terry.
Harry. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness.
A new witness?
Yes. We would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls.
The defendant?
There's only one person that could shed further light on this situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say with whether the person in this photo is Valerie Hawthorne. Or whether it is in fact her younger sister, Dahlia, disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all. And that person is Terry Falls.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand.
This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left.
Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes?
I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me.
Mr. Falls. I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million.
That's not true.
Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne, or was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
Dahlia. Dahlia. Did you betray me? "5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other."
Terry,
Dahlia? It's true. You're alive.
you don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad.
Tell the truth. Tell the real truth. I believed in you.
I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know.
Uh,
There is one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry.
Leah.
I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness! Ah! No, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Water, please, water.
Huh?
Can't talk. Need water.
Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself.
That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. I watched my car from the bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia.
Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would really do the same for you?
That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence?
There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. Think.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Me too.
According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. You certainly arrived early, didn't you?
It was raining. Already dark, too.
You waited on the bridge for 30 minutes? Mr. Falls?
Eagle Mountain. That spot. Strong memories.
Why did he just clam up? Could it be he's hiding something here? You were quite early, so you waited on the bridge, correct?
Yeah, I like waiting. I'm used to it.
I'm sure he is. Zebra Boy waited 5 years to ask a single question. To find out why a woman betrayed him. To him, 30 minutes must have been like the blink of an eye.
You were watching the car?
That bridge, other side is broken. Nobody can come from there. So, I was watching car.
What else were you expecting him to do?
I suppose that's an obvious thing to do, but something's bothering me. I'm getting that feeling. Contradiction?
I wonder what's on the other side of that broken bridge anyway. No one lives there. There's a small shrine up on the mountain, but that's it.
Anyway, nobody came. No car, nothing.
Mr. Falls, think carefully now. Are you certain that that was Valerie Hawthorne?
I never lie. It's the truth. It was Valerie. I remembered her face.
Wait a minute. If you had remembered her face, then why did you make her wear a scarf as identification?
sorry. I told a little lie. But that woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different. It was Valerie.
What did you talk to her about anyway? Mr. Falls.
Valerie told truth about kidnapping 5 years ago. She said somebody needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could think to do. She said that. That's why she lied. Got me death penalty.
And were you satisfied with that answer, witness?
Dahlia died. It was my fault. But I don't really remember. Maybe I did. Maybe I did push her in.
Huh?
It doesn't matter no more. Either way, my Dahlia, great teen angel, dead.
But you just saw that she isn't dead.
After Valerie talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for.
Okay, I don't remember what happened, so I'm just being super fucking careful.
How can you be so sure? It was raining at the time. The sun had set that day was at 5 o'clock. It would have already been pretty dark out on the mountain at 4:30. Please, Mr. Falls, this is your last chance. You already taken the fall for something you didn't do.
That woman, it wasn't Dahlia.
Stop right there. What more needs to be said?
Even if it means a death penalty, even if it means taking blame for murder. You'll still do whatever necessary to protect her, won't you, Mr. Falls?
I know it's obvious, but he's clearly lying. He's been cursed by Dahlia Hawthorne. He'll probably go to his grave still believing in her.
Mr. Falls.
Even if you can show he's lying, the poor guy will still be cursed. You'll still have to point out the contradiction anyway. That's the curse of being a defense lawyer, I guess. Okay, waited on bridge, watch the car. Mia thinks there's a contradiction there. I think there's a fucking contradiction there because of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
That staged-ass photo.
Oh.
Oh, fucking damn it. Okay, cool. But yeah, I saved because I wasn't sure. Sometimes
That would just end the case.
Yeah, because sometimes that happens. Nope, stop. I'm using the scroll wheel. Finally. Okay. Present. Witness's photo. Okay. After presenting the wrong photo last time, I'm like, check the photo every time.
So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're sure, huh? Well then, I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying.
Huh? What?
Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Vey.
You wanted to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at the photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right?
But that's the victim at the end of the bridge.
Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls must have arrived at the bridge after she did.
Uh, 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 uh,
Mr. Falls? Please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth.
uh. I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true.
Huh?
I had somewhere to go. A specific place.
Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge?
Yeah. It's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought me a memento to represent our love.
A memento?
5 years ago, I hid it under base of the tree there. It was special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get.
This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty.
Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he had then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car.
No! Indeed, there was certainly enough time for it.
Still got a chance. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Huh. Mr. Falls?
That's enough. Please.
Witness?
I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happened that we couldn't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. Ugh.
No! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess!
I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this.
No, we're so close. Just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence.
No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again.
Mr. Falls.
Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee.
Mr. Falls! And so my first trial ended. Suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners. Only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul, I thought I'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for that young prosecutor as well. But one person. The true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne. She left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face.
Unforgivable. That witch.
Mr. Armando?
We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty.
I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this.
Mia,
Huh?
don't you get it? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Mr. Armando, Diego! No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file it away and eventually forget about them. One year later, in the very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put to trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It had been 5 years, but now something that has happened that made me remember all this.
Even unlocked, Turnabout Beginnings.
Oh boy.
Doesn't feel good, man.
No, that case never feels good.
That case, I didn't want to keep clicking. I've played this game I don't know how many times, and I don't want to keep going. When Terry gets on the stand, I'm like, nope. Friendly reminder, this was my first Ace Attorney game. How the fuck do you think I felt? Being like, man, people say this series is good, and then your defendant kills himself with poison on the stand.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So did we make you cry, chat? You challenged us. Oh, and then we'll actually take a pin out, because now's as good a time to talk about it as any. Not yet, but it got damn close.
Damn it, I gotta try harder.
I think I flubbed that line with Diego. Like, the most important fucking line in the game, I think I flubbed it. I don't think I did a good job with the delivery on that one. No, you're fine. No, it was trash. It was not good. So there's a, I don't know if it's like misinformation, if it's Japanese only.
If it was added in the anime.
Yeah, but we're going to take a pin out because something I said that they did was super ballsy. This is what I was looking up. Because last time, pre-recording, you had insisted that he had been tutoring Dahlia at least 5 years before that. So they entered the relationship when she was 9.
Yeah, because I think that is information from the anime.
Okay.
Because it doesn't say, like, it doesn't divide it up in the wiki.
But it doesn't even say on the wiki. The wiki literally...
Yeah, it does.
No, the wiki literally reads... I have it open. Because it says relationship with a minor. Terry Falls' relationship with Dahlia falls under the definition of...
No, you have to look up...
pedophilia.
You have to look up higher.
Okay, where?
Hang on.
Because at 14, it would not be pedophilia, it would be statutory. Because I was looking.
Relationship with Dahlia.
Terry Falls worked as a tutor. When he was 20 years old, he entered a relationship with one of his students, Dahlia Hawthorne. That doesn't state her age.
Yeah, hang on. I'm looking.
They buried a vial of poison under the tree near blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't remember exactly where I read. I think it might just be anime only information.
I think the anime like took an even bigger jump with that, honestly. But either way, Terry Falls entered into a very questionable relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I like to, and I have always liked to, just from a psychological perspective, and I mean, it's true from a true crime perspective as well, distinguish the definition between pedophilia and statutory. Pedophilia is prepubescent. And therefore, 12 and under. As soon as you hit 13, technically, in some places it's iffy, but it's the general rule that when you hit 13, you're a teenager. That's the term teenager. And 12 and under is preteen. And, you know, younger and toddler and, you know, all that shit. So, but he entered a relationship with someone who obviously he should not have entered a fucking relationship with. Either way. So, but this case still makes him the victim in every fucking sense. And why is that? Capcom, I think, does a really good job highlighting something important that does happen, but more importantly, it has to do with Dahlia. And this is an overgeneralization because I have to overgeneralize, because if I don't, I'm going to be here for 12 hours, and that's not the point. People often mix up the terms psychopath and sociopath. They use them interchangeably. Why? Because if you use, and I'm flashing back to my fucking my psych disorders class here with my professor who has testified in criminal cases. If someone with psychopathy or sociopathy commits a crime, the media will paint the headline as psychotic killer, you know, revealed. Like, even if they don't show any signs of that, psychotic killer. It's very easy to use the word psychotic and throw it around like, wow, that person's psychotic, you know, like when you see like a Karen, you know, like throwing herself on the ground at Victoria's Secret, you know, like that kind of thing. Wow, that woman's psychotic. The actual definition of psychosis is, or rather the way to differentiate between a psychopath and a sociopath. The very easy way. Psychopaths are born that way. Sociopaths are made. Sociopaths are influenced by things that happen in their life, events that happen throughout their lifetime. They are not born with this instinct, with this feeling of not being able to connect, with this feeling of disassociation from the world and people, and being generally unable to form connections and not having a lot of feelings for people. There are psychopaths and sociopaths who can form connections. 100%. They have been studied. They are out there. Both, they are very close in demeanors. But they're both very charming. They are incredibly charming, but Dahlia Hawthorne is a psychopath.
Yeah.
She was born with no attachment to anybody or anything. She's not a functioning she's not even a functioning psychopath, I wouldn't even say. Because she's just a ticking time bomb of who is she going to kill next? And when is it going to be? She got Terry put on death row. She killed her sister. She killed Doug Swallow. She sees situations and her mind just goes, I need to clean this up. They're dead. And she did plan that at 14 years old. She is a psychopath. We're going to see later in the series a definition of a sociopath. And I'm going to point that out and why they're not a psychopath. Because people like to be like, oh, so-and-so is a psychopath. And I'm like, if so-and-so had been a psychopath, these major characters would have known. They would have noticed, because when you grow up with someone like that, you know. Valerie knew her sister was fucking insane. I don't mean to use that like in a negative light. I realize I probably shouldn't have used that in a negative light, considering my whole thing about mental health. But Valerie Hawthorne knew that Dahlia was a psychopath. She knew her sister had psychopathy. There's no way she didn't. Valerie Hawthorne herself wasn't the most upstanding fucking citizen either, but she does not fall under either category. She just falls under the category of a piece of shit. But she knew, and she still helped Dahlia set up a new life as Melissa Foster. Like, the fact that she just covered for her, we still don't know what happened to the diamond. I mean, Dahlia has had people helping her out, and that's the only way she got this far in life. And look at how many lives she's ruined along the way. Again, there can be people with sociopathy and psychopathy that make it through life just fine. Some of them get married and have kids. It's always when a disorder becomes maladaptive to your everyday way of life that it is an actual problem. And Dahlia's disorder was absolutely maladaptive to her way of life, because her first thought is kill them. That is her first instinct. That is her first reaction. Kill them. Because we're not done with Dahlia yet. I'll say that. Not done with her yet.
She's like a really bad STD. She just keeps coming back. Sorry, I had to lighten the mood.
You did. But, I mean, do you disagree with anything that I've just said? Because, I mean...
No.
Okay. I was going to say, because you also have taken psychological courses. You know the psychology of true crime better than I do.
Yeah.
But Dahlia Hawthorne is a psychopath, straight up. Turn it up like a bad goddamn penny. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no. Ooh, no. Dahlia, I mean, like, obviously, Nick just looked her up. We're obviously not done with her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, because why was Nick looking that up? Why was he remembering the case where she was there? You know, what's the deal with Diego Armando, who's very obviously Godot? What happened to him? I'm not going to treat you guys like you're dumb. Like, I'm not going to treat anyone watching this for the first time like they're stupid. I figured that out my first playthrough. As soon as I saw Diego, I was like, oh my god, it's Godot. What the fuck? What happened? And I was like, are these two in a relationship? Yes, they are canonically... Diego and Mia are canonically in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, even Grossberg mentions that.
Grossberg did say it's about your boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
He did say it's about your boyfriend. The victim, if you guys think back to the first case, the victim was of poisoning, accused of poisoning, that they talked about was one attorney, Diego Armando. They gave you that info straight up, but you forget about it because now you're 4 cases in. But they tell you, when Grossberg digs up that article, that an attorney named Diego Armando was poisoned at the courthouse. on the day that Dahlia gave Phoenix that locket. In the library, when he was just there looking up, you know, law stuff because he was thinking about taking law courses. And it did take a really bad toll on Edgeworth, too. The case does. They don't go into it much, but it did scar him pretty badly, especially considering there is an incident beforehand as well. So, Miles has not had a good couple of first goes in court.
Nah.
And after this is when he hits his stride and starts becoming the demon prosecutor. I think, if anything, this was a catalyst for becoming the demon prosecutor.
Yeah.
Seeing someone die on the stand in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm sure Monford let him fucking have it.
Oh my god, yeah, he would've.
About how a greenhorn almost got one over on him? Are you fucking kidding me? Monford would have gaslit the fuck out of Miles. So, they are not subtle about it. No, they're not. But they want you to know that it's Diego. They want you to know that that's Diego Armando. They want you to know that that's Godot. So, because they just want to have you go, what piece of the puzzle am I missing? And given the repressed PTSD Miles already has, vis-a-vis seeing people die in front of him, yep. Except he thinks at that point, when he was 20 years old, he just thought it was a really bad dream. I'm sure that did not help. I'm sure that just added to his nightmares. Which, again, he canonically got.
Mm.
But back to the original point of Terry. Terry, whether you're taking the anime information or whether it was something in Japanese, like maybe she was younger, who the fuck knows? Either way, Terry engaged in a relationship he absolutely should not have, just like it happened with Regina. You know, they were interested in a 16-year-old with Regina. It was a bit statutory. Not even a bit, it was just fucking statutory. But in Terry's case, he was manipulated. And it's never outright said or stated. This is not on the wiki. They just describe him as a simplistic and gullible man. But the way he is portrayed, it's funny because this is just what the human brain does. So I'm not blaming you for this one, Katie. You fixed a lot of his sentences.
Yeah, I did. I know I didn't, and I tried to correct by not fixing them.
I know, it's okay, because it's hard to read broken sentences like that, because our brains automatically want to correct it. So if he said, like, I waited on bridge, you would say, I waited on the bridge. Because it's because that's, you know, how our brains are worked. That's how we're taught. That's how we're conditioned. Fix the problem. So that's not your fault. I'm not, like, you know, trashing your reading.
I'm sorry.
You know, shut up. You did a very good job as Terry. I think your Terry was wonderful. And Terry, they very much imply that it's more than just naivete. It's like he has a very childish mind.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to diagnose Terry on this one, honestly, but they very heavily imply that Terry has some
sort of mental deficiency.
Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of how to word it well and word it correctly, and you worded it perfectly. He absolutely has some kind of mental deficiency. He has a hard time speaking proper sentences. He has a hard time remembering things. There is just something not there upstairs with Terry, and that's okay.
Something is not clicking correctly.
Yeah, something isn't firing on all pistons, and that's okay. Because what is it? Rob Gavigan says we're all not okay upstairs.
Yeah, no one is okay upstairs.
Yeah, so I mean that's fine. But so he was
for the social norm, essentially.
Yeah. But he was manipulated. So he was a man with a mental deficiency who was manipulated by a psychopath. And that is how you make something that is normally very looked down upon in society, even in Japan. I mean, in Japan, she was above age of consent. It is 13 in Japan. This is Japanifornia, but legal laws would still apply here. That's what the POV character of the actual book Lolita wants you to believe is happening, except he's clearly the manipulator trying to justify his actions. This ain't this. Yes! fucking Wright. That's an amazing book, but it's a very haunting read. And a lot of people try to use it to justify a lot of really gross things. Yeah, this ain't Lolita. Like that ain't Lolita. Like this, Dahlia was absolutely manipulating Terry for a backup plan, for a scapegoat, for something at the age of 14 years old. That's just canon. And I think that's very, I think that's very ballsy of Capcom, honestly. Especially when this came out. Because this was on the Game Boy Advance. The only added case was Rise from the Ashes back in Game 1. This was all on the Game Boy Advance. So for this to come out in Japan in the very early aughties, that's ballsy as hell. And for this to come out in like the mid aughties for us, still ballsy as hell. So congratulations, Capcom. The localization team handled this very well. Because it's hard and they flub sometimes. There's just things where they just flub. So, but yeah, they handled that incredibly well. Oh my god. And yeah, that's unpacking Dahlia. She is a psychopath, and I don't use that word lightly. I use it in the most legitimate sense of the word. The woman is insane. She is a psychopath, and Terry was manipulated and died for it. And Diego was poisoned for it. And Valerie was killed for it. And Nick was nearly killed for it. And Doug was killed for it. Dahlia's left a lot of bodies in her wake by age 20.
Yep. Not even 21. Not even old enough to drink.
Nope. She canonically, that we know of, by age 20, killed 4 people, 5 people?
That we know of?
Yeah, that we know of, that we are told of. I just listed them. Terry, Valerie, Doug. And I mean, I'm gonna add Diego to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add Diego to that, and you guys are gonna see why. So, 4 people, those who know why I'm adding Diego. But those of you who haven't experienced the series before, this final case is going to be a fucking hell of a ride, and we're very excited for it, but it is a fuck of a ride. We're gonna be in this case for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. Yeah, you'll see why I added Diego to that. And then, so Nick was nearly body number 5.
Yep.
She nearly put 5 people in their graves by the time she was 20 years old. With no remorse for any of them. He ate glass, yeah.
Yeah, he did, dumbass.
and there was a bit of the poison left in there, and that stayed for 5 years. So it's not that the poison lost potency, it's that he was just a lucky motherfucker. There was only a little bit left.
Yep.
He was just lucky. Oh yeah, Nick would have had to go get his stomach pumped, like, immediately after the case.
Yeah, especially if not for anything else than the goddamn metal and glass.
Yeah, in his stomach. Also, one thing I do want to point out about like Bratworth, and it's so easy to be like, oh fuck Bratworth, because like Katie was like, man, fuck this kid, like the first time you played it. Now you're like, I love this fucking brat, But like the thing about Bratworth is, it's like, when he saw that Terry was coughing up blood, his first words were, stop the trial. We need a recess. Through all of it, Miles' sense of justice still wins out. He still needs people to be okay. He's trying to put this person away. again. He's trying to just add on the death sentence to this guy, but he sees that this man is bleeding and he is poisoned, and he realizes what has happened, and his first words are, "Stop the trial." Even underneath all of that shit, Miles Edgeworth, still at the time of 20 years old, was a good fucking man. He was just burdened by so much. And I'm going to stop before I go into a 50-minute tangent about how much I love Miles Edgeworth. We're going to call the episode here, not the stream. I'm going to make a post on Facebook that the new case is starting. I'm also going to go feed my cat her Prozac. I was going to say not Prozac, Zyrtec. Jesus Christ, there's a big difference between those two. Zyrtec, my cat has allergies. It's prescribed by the vet. I'm so sorry. I am not drugging my cat with antidepressants. Shut the fuck up. You know I'm not. She's gonna get fat with all the treats she's getting for eating these for eating these fucking treats. I'm doing like those little pill pocket things. So I need to go give my cat her Zyrtec, and yeah, so we'll be back soon, and then we'll start Bridge to Turnabout. So for the YouTube recording, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the analysis at the end. Or thank you for sticking around through the analysis at the end. And buckle the fuck up. This has been Danny.
Going to go feed.
Oh.
And Katie.
Wait, what were you saying?
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I'll stay off screen.
No, just say it.
You go get your cat. I gotta go get more to drink.
Oh, I thought you were gonna add on something.
No.
Fuck.
That's why I was like, fucking go ahead.
Oh,
Jesus.
God.
And
Okay.
Katie, goodbye.
Okay. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.